Good morning and welcome to another episode of Josh and Pat. I'm Joshua Klein, joined by Patrick Cassett, and the Suns lost by 1,000,000 in a must-win game against the Denver Nuggets. Now, the Suns were at one point the number one seed in the West, and then they got Kevin Durant. Now, while everyone thought the addition of Kevin Durant would make them the number one team of all time, that's not how things played out. Patrick, what is the status of the Suns franchise, and is Kevin Durant a player that makes teams worse now?
Well, imagine thinking you're tougher than the Suns, and the Denver Nuggets are. The Denver Nuggets are better. The Suns, I think, have lost what was potentially a championship window now and a second-round exit. I mean, we all know that. Look, you trade for Kevin Durant, you want the second-round exit, right? Like, you trade that. What an absolute failure from a franchise standpoint here for the Suns to get bounced in the second round.
Oh, it's horrendous, Patrick. And not only do they lose this year in the second round, they're also losing picks in 2023, 2025, 2027, and 2029, as well as a pick swap in 2028. And they already lost McCall Bridges, who looks like a young superstar with the Knicks or with the Nets. So though it's not looking good for the Suns. And previously, Patrick, the Sun was kind of undefeated in a lot of things in life.
Very undefeated. The Sun, I've always said, protect yourself from the Suns.
The Sun created a whole industry in the sunscreen industry. Listen, these Suns, though, I don't think
UV was low.
UV index 1 on this day. Mm-hmm. And listen, I don't know where the Suns go from here. It's horrendous. Turns out you might need a bench.
You might need a bench. Thank you, Josh.
Do you think this is going to change how teams structure their team from like moving forward? Because there was this philosophy for about 10 years there where if you want to win a championship, you get three really good guys, the big three. Right. You know, LeBron James goes to Miami, they win, they have success. They're like, okay, well, that's the formula. And then so we had this notion that all you got to do to win a championship is get three really good guys, and if those three guys are good enough, you're going to be great. And that was
and Josh, you put it on paper. You go Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Chris Paul. It sounds like a very formidable
big three. But it seems to me like the NBA has shifted.
Couple issues with that, Josh. Right? KD coming off some injuries there. Okay, so he's not on the court 100% of the time. Okay, Chris Paul. Let's face it, he's pretty old to be a basketball player now. Okay, so he's not on the court all the time. Devin Booker. Hey, you can score a lot of points, but let's look at the drop off after that. They don't have anybody after the big three. It turns out you need more players than just three to be good in the NBA.
That's what it feels like. And so I don't know where the Suns go from here. If you're a Suns fan, it's tough. Devin Booker, I was told he's going to be he's going to be better than Curry. And how many championships has he won?
I mean, I'm looking at that. Devin Booker has lost 100% of the finals that he has been to.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
but I don't think enough people this morning are talking about the Kardashian curse once again plaguing an NBA team, right? So Devin Booker, we all know, he's over there with Kendall. Okay, great.
Well, I thought he and Bad Bunny are kind of fighting for her.
Well, right. But we know there's history there, right? We know there's history. Maybe things aren't looking great for Devin Booker on or off the court. Let's not forget Chris Paul. Kanye comes out in the fall and says he saw Chris Paul sleeping with this girl, Kim K.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that accusation. So this is all coming back around. It was destined.
It was destined to fail.
Wow.
The Kardashian curse is undefeated in the NBA, and we should have saw this coming from a mile away.
Wow, Patrick. I forgot about that. I'm glad you brought that up. That's a big deal here. Bottom line is, Suns, first of all, at least go out with some heart. You're in
second year in a row.
Second year in a row. I mean, Luka Doncic. I mean, European, like slightly overweight European dudes own the Suns, apparently. Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, it was like Jokic, I guess he owns the Suns now. He owns the Sun. I don't know how that works.
He owns the Sun and the Jokic brothers.
But, I mean, 30 points at half. What are we doing? you lose by 20. I don't even think the starters were in the game at some point towards the end of the fourth
Josh,
quarter.
I just want to say, what's the one positive thing? Well, it wasn't even positive. What's the one thing I learned about the Phoenix Suns this playoffs?
What'd you learn?
I found out that there's like a pretty average height dude that owns them that got pushed by Jokic.
Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He got assaulted.
Yeah, that's true.
He got assaulted.
He got
maybe
big.
flopped.
Jokic didn't get suspended, so it was all fine in the NBA's eyes.
All fine.
So that's interesting. Moving on, Boston ties the series with the 76ers. This game's going to Game 7.
Kind of saw it coming.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, this is like it's best case scenario, worst case scenario for me because I really don't like either of these teams at all. So
for Josh, if there is a universe where they could just keep playing games and never advance, that's the win for you.
Oh, that's amazing. If somehow, because they're tied 3-3, like I don't know how many overtimes they'd have to go to for them to just like call it, hey, whatever, we're calling it.
We're calling it. Neither of you guys go.
That's the scenario I want. And this game's gonna be in Boston, yeah.
It's gonna be in Boston. So here's my rule: Game 7's home court advantage doesn't matter.
Well, we saw, especially with Boston, we've seen this already in
saw
sports.
The Game 5.
Well, we see. Well, no, I'm saying we've seen this in sports.
Mm-hmm.
Game 7s in Boston, with a team that maybe is supposed to win, doesn't always work out.
Arguably one of the best regular season teams of all time.
Some would say the best just team of all time.
Yeah. What time do the Bruins play tonight?
Man, that's tough. Yeah. So I'm picking. I'm still gonna roll with Boston. I think that.
Yeah. No, I'm not going with Boston. I think Boston's going to find a way to choke this away. Boston by far has superior talent to the Sixers roster. They do. Well, it's plain and simple. If there's one thing that I do know though, is that Philly has preached the process now for 10 years.
So at some point the process has got to be
the process.
fulfilled.
I mean, like I don't know about you, but I mean, I'm still trusting.
So you're still trusting the process.
I'm still trusting the process here, and that's why I'm going to pick the Sixers to win in Game 7. And here's the thing: is the Sixers won't even look great. It's Boston that just
might not play to their level.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Moving on to the NFL, Patrick. The schedule release happened last night.
It's a big deal.
It's a big deal. And it's only a big deal because literally there's nothing else happening in the NFL right now, people care more about a schedule release in the NFL than they do probably hockey still. So
correct.
So that's just how it goes. And with the NFL, obviously there's a couple leaks. People always are trying to speculate, what's going to happen.
Yeah, but you never know, Josh. You never know. It's like, can I fully buy into the leak? Can I fully
I don't know. But this has also become a celebration of social media teams across the league. Which is cool. It's cool. It's their chance to kind of do things. Titans won big. They had, huge video releasing. But also it's kind of unfair because they just got to go down to Broad Street and
they just went down to Broadway. Like it was easy.
Yeah,
it was easy. They took care of business. You can go find. Clearly, it seems like they just found some girls that were on a bachelorette trip.
Yep.
Shocker that they were in Nashville for that.
Shocker,
absolute shocker. But yeah, hey, shout out to the Stallions.
Hey, shout out to them. There's a couple teams there that the Steelers one was confusing to me because it actually says Steelers on the logo.
Yes,
but nevertheless, Chargers did pretty good. They released their anime one. I would say
Lightning McQueen.
They had Lightning McQueen on one?
It was Lightning McQueen. That's what Titans called him. And the schedule it was Lightning McQueen.
Gotcha. Well, Charger, yeah, you're right. So Lightning McQueen did a pretty good job. Some of them, like for instance, there ones for the Lions with the gambling problems screen.
It was good. Like that's a level 1,000 troll.
That's
right there.
Great. Then for the Ravens, it was about a contract with Lamar. I'm like, that's old news, dude. We're moved past that. We signed him.
I don't know about you, but that was such 2 weeks ago. Like we have moved forward.
Yeah,
from that.
What are we doing? But I will say, Ravens kind of just Ravens just posted the schedule. Now, some would say it's lazy. Some would say Ravens are more focused on the field than on the field
performance. When you think of the Baltimore Ravens, you think of on the field performance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Josh, what is a true throwback? You just post the schedule. There is no instead of having to sit through 2.5 minutes to watch individually each week get presented on a video.
Yeah.
Boom. We just give it to you right there that you can check out any week's game at any point in time. Some are calling it revolutionary in the schedule release time period.
I mean, that's true. I guess some would say that. I'm not saying that, but maybe some would.
Sometimes you have to go back to go forward.
That's a quote I have heard. Moving on, NASCAR this week, Patrick.
Huge.
Where are we at?
We're at Darlington. It's throwback weekend.
Oh, wow.
Josh, I think I know who you're riding with.
Well, we haven't got to our picks yet. Listen, NASCAR, this is probably the most anticipated week in NASCAR for me in a while. Simply because we're coming off Kansas, which phenomenal race. You had, I mean, it was everything you want. Last 20 laps, dueling for the lead. You get a fight. You get a fight. Ross Chastain. Now, Ross Chastain, here's what I'll say about Ross.
Talk about Ross.
Too apologetic. Like, dude, just be an a-hole. Like,
I think there's probably a middle line.
The middle line, but like he's so apologetic that it's like, dude, you're racing hard. Just say, I'm a hard racer. I'm gonna race you hard. That's all you gotta say. You don't have to say, I obviously don't want to wreck anybody. That's not what I want to do. You could come across as soft, man. Just own it. Just be like, yeah, well, that happens. It's NASCAR. It's racing.
Yeah, it's NASCAR. But this isn't this is a professional league. Get better. Because guess what? Ross Chastain, number 1 in points.
He is. And he doesn't have a win. So
doesn't have a win, but number 1 in points.
And so, but that's the thing. That's even more impressive, I'd say. Doesn't have a win.
He's not winning.
He's just
consistently
he's that
good.
consistently good. Yeah. This week, listen, I got to pick a guy who kind of got done dirty.
A couple weeks in a row, I would argue.
I mean, some would say fair racing move. I would say part of it was fair. Part of it was, I mean, if I'm on the sim and somebody does that to me,
you're ticked.
I'm so mad. But I got to go. He's going to have a bounce-back week and might go on an all-time run here. I got to go Kyle Larson.
All-time run. And I mean, we're talking about if
he win, I mean, he might win out.
This. If he goes on the run that we think he could go on, we're talking about the best driver ever.
Absolutely.
Like the greatest driver in the history of NASCAR.
Yeah.
And Josh, who I like this weekend, I'm rolling with his teammate. I'm rolling with Guy Hendrick Camp. I like William Byron. I think Byron, he
early.
He looked good. He looked good last year until Logano just absolutely bumped him out of the way. I like William Byron. We're both Hendrick boys this weekend.
Okay, I like that too. Cool. Moving on to NBA preview. Wait, that's kind of random schedule. Tonight we probably should have put that.
Probably should
when we were talking about NBA in the show.
Yeah, that could have helped.
That's okay, whatever. So we got tonight. It's Game 6 of the Knicks versus the Heat. Heat are up 3-2 in the series, playing in Miami.
Heat close them out, Josh.
You think so?
Heat close them out. Look, if I know anything, it's Heat culture, right? The Suns, they were not undefeated. But the Miami Heat, I mean, that's like one notch below the Sun, right? It's like, what's tougher than the Sun? Nothing, except the Denver Nuggets, right? What's tougher than Miami Heat? Nothing. It's not a New York Knicks. It's a Miami Heat. Look,
whoa, Patrick, get ready for this. I'd argue that Heat is actually tougher than the Sun because why is the Sun tough? Because of the Heat.
Because of the Heat. That is true. So we know that the Miami Heat are tougher than the Suns on and off the court. Look, I think Jimmy he's going to do his thing tonight. Josh.
Jimmy Buckets, man.
The Miami Heat are the complete polar opposite of what the Phoenix Suns tried to do.
Yeah.
They don't, okay, I'll call Jimmy Butler a superstar. There's nobody else on that roster. It's all just depth. And they don't even have Tyler Hero, Jack Harlow's best friend.
They're literally they're the opposite of the Suns.
They're the complete opposite of the Suns. And guess what? They're winning.
And it's because they're
going to go to the conference
finals.
Well,
it's because literally any day, like one of their 10 players could just go off and do something crazy.
And they're not even playing Udonis Haslem.
Yeah. No, it's wild. I agree with you. I'm going Heat. And
Culture.
I think that they can get it done. I think they're playing really well right now. This game is probably, I mean, it's my most anticipated game of the whole year.
Wow.
Of the whole, like, this is like, if there's
gonna go game of the week, maybe game of the month.
No, this is
year
because no other games matter in the playoffs, and this is the only game that actually has so far really seemed to matter.
This legitimately could decide who wins the NBA championship.
Yeah, I think so. It's Warriors versus Lakers, and we're playing in Los Angeles
in the Crypto.com arena.
And listen, it's I mean, Warriors back against the wall. We're down 3-1. Make it 3-2. The thing that's going to determine this game is Anthony Davis. What's Anthony Davis going to do? That's literally the whole entire, like, everything that, like, this whole game rests on the shoulders of one person. And is Anthony Davis going to drop, like, 20 points, 20 rebounds,
I bet you
10 assists, or is he gonna do nothing?
I bet you the Warriors wish they had a guy that could, maybe compete big down low with Anthony Davis when Anthony Davis gets in a roll. It's not like they spent like the top 3 draft pick on a guy and then traded him away or anything with James Wiseman. But it just didn't work out. It didn't work out. So it's not like they could.
It's just different strategy, man. They're trying to go smaller.
Yeah, they're trying to go. It wasn't a cultural fit. We know that.
Well, here's what I'll say, Patrick. I do think though. I mean, I'm feeling good about the Warriors in this game.
Gosh, I think the Lakers win tonight.
No, because here's why, Patrick. Here's why. First of all, there's a corgi. Now, I don't know if you've seen this. Have you seen it?
I have seen it. And they said that the Warriors go down 3-1, they come back and win it.
Corgi has predicted the outcome of every game in this series correctly so far. And the Corgi is saying, hey, the Warriors are going to win this game. They're going to come back from 3-1. And I trust a lot of animals, but I trust a dog more than any other animal.
That's a fair point, Josh. But I want to introduce you to a guy named Rui Hachimura. And tonight is going to be the Rui Hachimura game. Okay? He's going to go off. He's going to have 15 points. He's going to play superbly for the Los Angeles Lakers tonight. Not to mention, Bronny James just committed to University of Southern California. What is in Southern California? That would be Los Angeles, where the Los Angeles Lakers play. We all know that the Lakers get the Bronny James bump tonight, and they win for Bronny James with LeBron James, his dad. Did you know LeBron James is his dad and plays on the Lakers? So Bronny James' dad plays on the Lakers. This coincidence is wild.
Maybe I'm missing something here, but I don't know if that's going to be enough to beat Steph Curry. And
they've done it 3 times already.
Well,
they've done it 3 times already.
I just don't know.
By the way, just want to concussions are a bad thing. Never a fun thing to deal with. But congratulations to Anthony Davis for possibly making a miraculous recovery.
Was he actually concussed?
Well, we don't 100% know what the injury was. But we do know that he did get wheelchaired off, and he may be back in the lineup tonight for the Lakers.
That'd be pretty good for the Lakers. Lakers are probably counting on that. So we're split. So I'm going Warriors. You go Lakers. Mm-hmm. I'm rooting for Game 7. I don't think both. I mean, you can't. One of these games between the Knicks and the Heat, Warriors, Lakers has to go 7. So it might as well be this one, right? So moving on to XFL preview.
This is the last week we get to talk about those.
This is the last week. Now, this has been a thrilling season in the XFL. At the beginning of the season,
argue this is a top 3 season they've had all time.
All time, easily. I got into this at the beginning. I said before week 1 started, I said I'm going to pick a team. I knew nothing. I knew nothing about the history of teams, the history of the franchises.
Josh, you hopped on a bandwagon.
No, you know that's not true.
Yes, I do.
Patrick, I picked the
2020. Tell me.
Patrick, I didn't.
Tell me who was undefeated.
You act like I knew that.
Tell me who was undefeated.
You act like I knew that they were undefeated.
Josh, all it takes is a quick Google search.
Patrick, I didn't know.
You didn't have to watch the league in 2020.
I didn't know, Patrick. I promise you guys. I picked the Houston Roughnecks strictly because I like the name, the logo, and the city. I was like, I can tolerate Houston.
Oh, so you're a Houston guy now.
I could tolerate Houston. I didn't want to be like I didn't want to be Seattle. It's too rainy there, and I didn't want I can't do DC. Like there's a lot of teams I couldn't do, but I said Houston Roughnecks. I think that's for me. And I had the archive footage on live stream of me picking them.
Okay. We'll have to pull it up.
And I'll pull it up.
Because guess what? You probably knew that they were good in 2020.
I didn't know that.
Took a quick XFL power rankings. You go up.
Nope.
I think the Roughnecks were actually favored to win the league coming into the season.
Did not.
So,
Patrick, I didn't know.
You hopped on a bandwagon that actually fell off. The wagon fell off mid-season. You guys couldn't have a quarterback that could throw for more than 50% completion percentage. And by the way, you played in a terrible Southern Division, and you got beat by the Renegades in the semifinals. And guess what? The Renegades, well, their Cinderella story is up. The DC Defenders go marching into San Antonio on Saturday night, and they win the XFL championship and finally bring a football title back to DC.
Okay, 2 things I want to clarify. 1, not a bandwagon. We can agree to disagree. I didn't know anything, and you will never be able to go into my brain and see it. Second of all, Arlington, the fact that they're in this is, it is a miracle.
It's a miracle because of how bad the Roughnecks played.
It is.
Yeah. You personally let them into that game.
The fact that the Roughnecks did this is honestly kind of embarrassing. And so
guess what? I'd argue if the XFL championship was played in week 3, I agree. I think the Roughnecks maybe could win. But if we know anything about football, it's not played in week 3.
Yeah, I know. But the DC Defenders, I feel like
are a superior team.
They're just so much better. They're so much better in every way. Like,
we talked about
and if Arlington wins this though, Patrick, and like I almost feel like I'm rooting against the Defenders, obviously, but if Arlington
really over your interstate rival,
I know that's crazy, but I feel like I just would.
Wow,
I would rather.
I think that's a personal. I think it's a personal rivalry with me.
Yeah, it's true. It is a rivalry, and luckily the rivalry is young enough where I feel like I don't have too much bad blood against them. But the thing is, if the Roughnecks, if Arlington wins, then nothing means anything in the XFL. Is what we'll kind of figure it out.
Yes, because they should have never gotten the playoffs.
Should have never gotten the playoffs. So, and that's and so maybe I should root for the Defenders because I want something to mean things.
You want to make sure that you were the 3rd best team this year, and that everything will work out in that way. Because a podium finish is not bad for you guys, right?
No, it's not bad. But also, we don't play for podium finishes. We play for championships. So I would
solve the quarterback issue then.
Well, we're going to figure it out. We got some things we got to work out. This offseason is going to be a big rebuild time
for the program. Yeah,
it's going to be it's going to be good. Wow, man, that's the shortest show of all time, I think.
I think it was good.
We're 22 minutes.
That's good. Kept it quick.
But the thing is that gets me frustrated is that we do Zoom calls and we're always like pushing the limit of the Zoom call.
And then we come
in person where we could film for an infinite amount of time.
And we do one of the quickest shows.
And we do one of the quickest shows of all time. But I am pumped, Patrick. Are we racing NASCAR tonight?
I think we're gonna have to race some NASCAR tonight.
Me and Patrick. So this is me and Patrick raced NASCAR. And now previously, me and Patrick raced NASCAR. Was bad because I don't know how to use a stick. That I'm awful.
Doesn't know how to use a controller.
Don't know how to do it at all. I didn't play video games growing up. I'm not good with a controller.
The Xbox 360 in their living room says otherwise, but
I didn't play it. But having something doesn't mean.
But you made it sound like it was a parental thing.
It was. I played it when I had friends over. But now we got a little steering wheel, so with the pedals, so that I can actually not suck.
I would argue he's got a faster car than I do right now. But that being said, I still lead him in the points.
Couple points though, but I have the win, so I'm secured in the playoffs. You're not. You haven't locked in your playoff spot yet.
I haven't locked in the playoff spot yet, which is tough. And I argue. I'm not a mile-and-a-half racer. I'm good. I'm decent at mile and a half, but I really come to shine some of the other tracks.
Wait, what tracks would you?
Oh, we all know that I'm a pretty good restrictor plate driver.
Really? Now, actually, I'm excited to do restrictor plate racing tonight because now the mile and a half. That's where that's my go-to.
That's your bread and butter. And it should be because that's a racer's.
Well, for me, because we're on when I'm on a track that I don't have to. That I can stay pretty much on the throttle, but just give it a little off. I don't have to brake.
I would love to be at Bristol.
That's
at a short track, maybe even a Phoenix.
But no, you don't want me. But here's the thing about Bristol, though, because people are going to forget that when I was coming up in the circuit,
Well, you got dirt
we
experience.
we did
You got dirt
we did
experience
Bristol dirt
there.
twice a year,
Yeah,
twice a
because-
season.
Yeah, because we know how similar Bristol dirt is to the concrete track. So, I mean, if we know that that's going to carry over anything. And that's why I think every NASCAR driver that's actually on circuit right now is begging, yeah, you know what? More Bristol dirt, because they know that it just translates over for the concrete. when it
Well,
comes to the
okay,
playoffs.
fair, but I have experience on the track. That's where I went toe to toe with Tony Stewart.
Yeah. Toe to toe and lost every time.
Hey,
but
my car, he had a much better ride than me.
You think he's got better funding into the program?
Oh yeah, if you look at the stars
You look at
next
the
to
stars.
his
So you're saying
team,
you're a better driver then? You get
well,
the most out of
and
your equipment?
on that day, I was the better driver.
You get the most out of your equipment.
On that day, I was a better driver. Now I would say, I mean, you give me 2 more laps, I would have called him too.
Really?
Because I was gaining.
Well, talk about the couple times yesterday that not even on the dirt. You just lost it on your own at
Yeah,
Auto Club.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was driving a little too hard into the corner
Which I don't know how you lost it. Like, my
well,
car was
because
not that.
because I went in and
I think we've lost.
I dove.
If anyone has made it to this point, I think we've lost
Yeah.
every single person.
If anybody's made it to this point, hey, if you made it to this point, make sure you guys DM us at Picks and Pancakes, and you will get not only a free mug, but you also
McDonald's gift card.
get this $10 McDonald's gift card.
You can get anything at McDonald's for $10. Well, no. You can get whatever you want.
Whatever you
that is
want.
worth $10. Yeah.
$10 and under, which at McDonald's, you use the app too. Oh, you can get great deals. Yeah, so anyway, that's the show, guys. A little bit short, but we're going to do it. Anyway, you have a wonderful weekend. Make sure you guys go to picksandpancakes.com to read everything that's happening in sports, and I'll see you on Monday. A peace.